This is epic conversation for me right now. I'm hanging out with Tom Ohle.
What's up?
What is up, man?
Chilling.
So this is an air out session for evergreen conversation surrounding media etiquette 101, maybe 102. You put out a tweet a couple of weeks ago, give or take, maybe a month or so removed. If there was anybody who wanted to chat with you about anything as it relates to industry, building, that kind of a thing, you were up for it. And I'm like, I'm going to chase this guy down. Tom, what's up?
Not much, man. You're the only person who did that.
Are you serious?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Are you kidding?
I probably had other business stuff, but you were the only one who actually wanted to chat. So.
Yeah, because I definitely want to understand the mind of how you look at content creators and journalists and influencers as they do correspondence with you. What does that look like? What does that sound like? What is the proper way to do that? Have I done it wrong? You know, that kind of a thing. Those things, air out for us. Talk to us, man.
Totally. Yeah, man. I think ultimately it's kind of common sense, but a lot of it is really just human relationships, you know? I mean, it's like, it's being genuine. It's trying not to be weaselly, not trying to be sneaky, you know, just being upfront, being human. I think is pretty much the most important thing. I think that, you know, depending on who you are, what kind of company you're trying to reach out to, if you're in the press or you're an influencer coming up especially, a lot of people trying to pretend they're bigger than they are, or they, you know, don't really go about it the right way. They spend too much time trying to build themselves up, or, you know, trying to swing for the fences, which is great, but you got to understand there are processes in place. You're not, you know, if you're just getting started, you're not going to be able to get this great opportunity, this great business interview. That's going to depend on the company that you're working with. But sometimes it's like work your way up, build relationships, and over time, you know, things will pay off. But it definitely takes time. It takes trying to learn how to do it. And, you know, it's a profession, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're doing this seriously, I think you kind of have to accept that there are, you know, rules to follow. You know, be genuine though, and I think most people will give you the time of day and at least try and be genuine back.
Okay, so let's walk through a scenario. A new content creator, aspiring content creator wants to leave here. I don't want a gamer pass for next year. I want to create content so next year I can apply for press, so I can be part of this group of wonderful content creators for myself, because I want that opportunity for myself. So how would someone craft that narrative for them to January, February, because that's really when the application starts going in for next year? What should they consider? How should they approach? What's the email should look like, sound like, that kind of a thing?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I think maybe we as an agency at Evolve do things a little bit differently. We have, you know, kind of tools in place, processes in place. We have terminals.io where we have all of our contacts registered. And really all we do through that is, you know, ensure that people are legit. You know, basically if you're coming in and you're streaming once a month, as much as you might want to
define legit.
Yeah, well, I think it's if you're putting in
10 episodes, 20 episodes, 30 episodes.
I think it varies, right? I mean, I think you could come in and start fresh and be conveying like a serious attitude and say like, this is how I'm doing it. If you're just getting started, it might take a little bit of time for you to sort of build up a reputation, or for you to be perceived as legit, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I think that it's an attitude, it's an approach to it. If you're just kind of like fly by the seat of your pants, just kind of doing whatever, an episode every once in a while, mm-hmm. you don't really have a solid presence, there's mm-hmm. no schedule, you mm-hmm. don't have any real format, mm-hmm. it's hard to be taken seriously, right? I mean, if you were on TV just kind of spouting off about a random thing one week and then 6 months later you post something else, or you can't call yourself a TV station, or, you know, a TV program or something like that. So I think the same goes for content creators and media. If you have like a site that you posted on Wix or whatever, and you post an article every 6 weeks, as much as you might want to be considered a credentialed press member of the press, you got to look at what else you're competing with. You know, I as a PR rep, I'm like, okay, I have IGNs and the GameSpots and, you know, Co Carnage and whoever. I mean, you know, from the influencer side or the press side,
right?
that's who you're competing against. And now we understand that not everybody's going to be huge.
Right.
But there's still an attitude, there's a professionalism that you have to bring to it. And at the very least, if you're in the media, have your own domain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're...
have your own domain. So you mean like your name at your website.com.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, we get a lot of people that have, I don't even know what, it's like the Wix.com sites. Or
Gmail, do you guys look at Gmails?
Gmail, it's no problem. I mean, I think particularly on the influencer side, Gmail is what it is. But then even then with your social content, your Twitter account, your Twitch channel, your YouTube channel, you got to look at what other people in the space are doing and try and emulate that. You look at people that are getting opportunities, that are attending events, that are getting interviews, things like that, and say, okay, how are they doing it? You know, if I go to your Twitter account and I can't find a link to your channel, or you don't describe yourself as anything, if you're like, Dope Boy 420 or something like
Dope
that.
Boy 420.
That's it. I'm gonna have to get that account.
Oh my gosh. Save that.
I probably should. Don't air
Don't
this
grab
before I get that account
Dope Boy 420
until I get that. But like if that's who you are and it's like a picture from you at a party or something like that, and you don't have a description, it's hard to know that you are who you are, that you're here like for a serious reason. So that from the PR perspective, what we're trying to do is say, if I let you into a demo, if I bring you in, like we're helping schedule Cyberpunk demos, for example. If I'm going to bring you in to see that game, what am I going to get out of it? Is it like, as much as I don't want to say, hey, you do something for me, and I need, or I'll get you into a demo. I need to see coverage or something like that.
So you heard what happened, right? Did I tell you?
No.
So I did a clip for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And apparently it went viral.
Okay.
And I'm not looking at any of the numbers related to it right now.
Right now?
But anyway.
Okay, good.
Side conversation.
Nice one. So there you go. If you can go viral, perfect. That's getting something out of it for me. But
I'm not looking at it.
We'll see. I'm going to take a look now. But it's basically, I need to know that if I'm going to let you in, it's not just not making you happy and really not doing anything for me. I'm not in the like bargaining game. I'm not like, hey, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. But it's a business, it's a profession,
Absolutely.
And my job first and foremost is to get attention for our clients' products. As much as that, it sounds kind of heartless corporate thing, but that's the job,
that's the business,
and that's my business. So it's not that every time I give you an opportunity you have to cover something, or every time I send you a game key you have to write about it. But I have to know that it's not just like, I'm not just giving you something and you're like,
nothing's
going to
happening.
tell your friends at home, like, hey, I checked this thing out.
Right.
That's not my job. It kind of is, but that's a marketing job. That's not, PR is media and influencer relations at this point. It's about me trying to make sure that I know who is seeing our games, who has access to our games, in order to get attention, to get media coverage, to get streams, to get videos up on YouTube, to all that kind of stuff. So that's what I want out of it.
So do you look at anything outside of the terminal itself? Or, for example, if someone has their Twitter profile, should they have their email in their Twitter profile, that kind of a thing? Is there certain things that you look for if you're looking out stuff outside of the terminal?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's like a hard and fast rule. I think there are a couple things, like have a link to your channel or your website. Email, as long as I can find it, great. It's like if it's nowhere, if there's really no way for me to get in touch with you, that's challenging. And sometimes I might put in the effort, but you're gonna have to be a huge content creator, a huge media person for me to really want to put in the effort.
Right.
If you've got 200 subs on YouTube and you ask me for something and I have no way of looking up who you are and trying to find you and get in touch, then I'm not going to put in that much effort, to be honest.
Okay. So what about email etiquette? Is there a particular thing that you look for in email? Hey, Tom, I'm just starting out. I've had 50 episodes, and they've been pretty consistent for the last couple of weeks. I would love to connect with you and see what your company is doing and starting to touch base with you. What can I do? What kind of conversations do you look at when it comes to email stuff?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think, again, it comes down to being a decent human being. Like, think about,
That's it.
I think a little bit, at least for us. Again,
Yeah.
it's going to vary by company. I think that we've always been, maybe to a fault, like, super open to working with people who are really just getting started, really, like, new to the business, or I don't care so much about the size of your channel. But if the first time I ever hear from you, or the only time I ever hear from you, is like a totally
When a
poorly
game's coming out.
formatted email that is basically like, hey, I'm a YouTuber, can I have your game?
Right.
I'm probably not going to do that. Give me a reason to care. Give me a reason to think that I want to give you something.
Right.
And I think if you're dealing with certain companies, they may be looking for, you might have challenges because you don't have a huge audience or something like that. We're a bit less concerned about that. But if you can show me that you're interested, that you're super passionate about it, maybe I can't get you into something like a Cyberpunk demo that's fully booked.
Right.
But I'll at least try. I'll try.
Right.
And I'll send you a game key and whatever. If you're being a good person about it, you're showing me that you're passionate. I give you a key, and then you go, hey, I streamed the game. Perfect.
Right.
That's what I want out of it. And I just want to make sure that if we're gonna have a relationship and build a relationship moving forward, that it's not just a one-way relationship where you're just always asking for something and not really understanding that I'm a person too, and
Right.
I need to know that you
You're a human
understand.
being, right,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm not that heartless, like,
Right.
like kind of, but not that much.
Right.
You know?
So I got probably about 3 minutes with you or less. So the floor is yours. Soapbox moment. Anything that you want to share before we close out?
No, man. I really appreciate the stuff you're doing, and I think
Thank you, man.
we've been working together for a while now. I
Yeah.
guess it's been a couple
been a
years.
while,
I
yeah.
guess. And it's been really impressive to see
Thank
your evolution and growth.
Thank you,
and
man.
I think it's the way you have carried yourself, I think, is a perfect example for how to do this. Like, I mean, you're obviously trying to treat it as you understand that it's a business. You understand that you're representing yourself in all your interactions. So it's about being genuine, be a real person, and don't get butthurt if something doesn't go your way. It's a business. It's the reality of things. Sometimes people, in the lead up to E3, I'll get 300 emails a day. Sometimes I miss emails, and I, as much as I try to respond, it is what it is. But don't be upset about that, or try not to take it personally. Don't get upset. Don't send me angry emails that I didn't send you a game key, things like that. Just accept that I make mistakes. I'm a genuine person. I'll try to do my best to help you out, and we can have a good relationship, and I think the more that you can understand the limitations I face, the more that we can work together, it's better for all of us, right?
Awesome. See, guys. See, I love you. Tom loves you. You see what we're doing? We're trying to help. We're trying to help. We're trying to do what we can do to help you guys. Tom, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate
Always
it.
a pleasure.
Always.